Already. Welcome to the Sports Plug Podcast. This is your boy Russ J with my guy Chris. Say hello. And that's how.
H-Town legend. Shout out to them Texans. Shout
It's,
out to them Astros. And the Rockets ain't did nothing yet. So really a shout out to them Astros.
you
We
know
made
what?
it to win it.
We didn't lose tonight.
Hey, and I ain't dissing yo. Hey, look. And to keep it fair, shout out to Oklahoma. I hate. I've never been an Oklahoma fan, but I have to say because of Sean and Chase's hate towards Jalen Hurts and saying he'd be holding a clipboard, I kind of knew that he was gonna beat Texas, bro. Like
I mean,
I just had a feeling.
yeah, you were a fan of one player, as you all know. It is my team. Since we can't do it on the field, we can do it right now because we won. But nah, Texas wasn't sorry though. I just think that I just like everything you said about Jalen Hurts was correct. Just everything that you said about the dude. And really, the thing that stuck out most is you told me a while ago before you told me when he was at Alabama. You was like, man, he was at a school that didn't have no cold players. And then him coming to the Big 12. Me personally, I thought of last year. I wish Chase was on this. I was on this episode though, because last year Chase told me when Texas beat Oklahoma. Remember, he was talking about those guys had been dudes that was losing to Kyler Murray for years, and they finally got him in that game. Well, in the game against Houston, remember they asked Jalen Hurts, they asked him about Mansfield, and they're like, they scored like 71 points or whatever, and he was like, man, he had a bunch of D1 athletes. I was one deep. He's in the Big 12 playing against all the dudes that played with all the D1 athletes, and he's finally got the best team, and he's playing against all of
Bro,
them. So
I put it this way. I was talking to my old man earlier, bro, and I was saying he was saying, well, he only beat him his senior year. And I said, now let's just look back at all the schools on the east side of town. How many of them ever beat him? Like ever? Ever is a long time to
yeah,
say. Like some of these schools have never beat him, and he beat him. Sam Ellinger, he drove it down the field, and he almost got him there, but he didn't beat him. And he was out there with guys that's D1, Power 5. Like,
true.
I ain't dissing the dudes where hers came from, but what I'm saying is he wasn't out there with a bunch of guys who we looking at in the NFL right now. Like, that dude had something. And I always thought he had something. And I mean, yeah, he's from where I'm from, so I'm always gonna root for him. But I mean, sometimes you just gotta tip your hat to some people. Like I ain't saying the dude is Joe Namath or any the next greatest thing in the NFL, but the dude is a good player. Like we can't front like he shouldn't get a shot.
I can't say nothing really about the NFL right now, but I can say as far as college goes,
He's a great
he's
college
yeah,
quarterback.
he's becoming one of those legendary figures. We'll see how it ends before we start naming too many people. But me as a fan, I watch him, and Lincoln Riley is a true quarterback whisperer, but he can ball. Like the dude can just ball. Like regardless of what he doesn't throw as well as these other guys, or he doesn't look like he reads coverages. He can ball. And CeeDee Lamb is a beast. I
He's
told
a
y'all.
beast, bro.
I
I,
told people. I tried to speak on it. I wish Sean was here. Now I will say Jerry Judy is a beast, but I'm gonna stick with I'm gonna stick with my bet, even though my bet does look like it may lose because he may get picked first in the draft um, before CeeDee Lamb. But as Sean even agreed to, and
better
most would
player
probably
might
not.
be him.
The better player is gonna be CeeDee Lamb. Only thing I do think that I think you can't really see now is I don't think he's that fast. Like
I
you know how he has to build. You have to build up speed. I don't think his acceleration is really there, but it doesn't really matter because his catch radius is ridiculous, and he without him we lose that game. Without him we
He
lose that
went
game.
nuts. He
Period.
went nuts.
And the defense of Oklahoma has improved. To people that wondered if it's better, it is. It's not outwardly, but it wouldn't be in 1 year anyways. But it is a lot better than it used to be. And what's his name? Kenneth Murray. Man, that dude right there is a monster.
Oh yeah, I gotta tip
He
my
will
hat
be
to that
playing
dude.
linebacker at the next level.
Yeah, like he was out there dominating. Like that looked like an old school Oklahoma UT game. Like it was points put up, but it was also good defense play.
Yeah.
Like it was a good game, like all in all. But it was one of those, I kind of seen that coming already, bro. Like I kind of been hinting at it. I'm a fan, but it's like, man, that dude Jalen Hurts ain't no rookie. He not a freshman.
Yeah, he won a national
Like
championship.
dude, he didn't win 26 and like two.
Yeah,
Like he
in the
lost to
SEC.
Deshaun Watson.
I think that's what I kept trying to. That's what that your thing was. You watched him play your whole life. You seen what he could do. Me personally, I just saw him at Alabama, and I was like, you mean to tell me if SEC and Alabama is this powerful, we about to get the quarterback that took them to the national championship, and he's not fitting the ball? He gonna hold a clipboard? Get out of here, man! Like
Like
you,
good out here.
like that makes no sense to me at all, at all. But he's showing as he goes along, and I think it gets to the point. I think with Oklahoma, like as a fan, like I look at it, and I'm like, he's not gonna break a record every game. You know what I'm saying? Like they expect him to. He what his first 4 games he broke record on top of record on top of record on top of record. So like I looked at the game. Yeah, he could have done some things better. I mean, he never fumbles. He fumbled. He had turnovers, but all in all, I think that Oklahoma's sitting right at the fifth spot. Only thing I do have to ask about Texas, because I know you don't want to harp on it probably that much, is when did the offensive line play get that bad? As far as, or is he holding the ball too long? And number two, what the fuck was Roach thinking?
I
Hitting
have
that
no clue.
thing, like he was actually keeping y'all in him playing. When he got out the game, that's when
Yeah,
things
all the
started looking
time.
up. Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
and I got one. Oh, go ahead.
it's just recruiting. UT just got to keep building on the line, building recruiting. And I mean, that was just a bonehead play. Like it really just was, bro. It was one of the few times you can look at the Red River Shootout and say they just was better than them. Like
I will say
they,
one person y'all have that I will say Texas, I mean Oklahoma doesn't have better than, and y'all need. I was to the point where I told Chase y'all need to take Sam out. And y'all need to put Johnson in that thing because
yeah, because that kid
I
brings
think
like,
that kid is going to be a stud. Like I'm talking like super. Unless something happens where he just stays at running back all the time, or like if he
bro,
gets the chance to play
He's the
quarterback,
best
like
running back on the team. Like at this
yes,
point.
but y'all might have Michael Vick. If he
Like,
can
bro,
play, oh
I was asking my brother. I was like, is it a chance that he's just the best football player on the team? Like when he gets the ball, something happens.
yeah, exactly. Fact. And I think when you have a guy like that played quarterback, you need to put him at quarterback. I understand the love affair with Sam, but after watching Sam for a couple years, just on the outside looking in, not even trying to hate, it seems like the same things that he's had trouble with, he still has trouble with. Seems to hold the ball a little too long, and he's not very accurate. The only guy on the team that really can snag all of his passes is 6'6" and is going to go to the NFL. That's Colin Johnson, and that's because he's
And
6'6".
Duvernay,
And Duvernay, yeah,
Duvernay will
Duvernay's super
probably go
slow.
to the NFL.
Yeah, I keep thinking he's younger than he is. Yeah, but Duvernay is also a very good wide receiver.
Early prediction, he'll be a Patriot.
You know what? And he'd fit in perfect. You talking about Duvernay?
Yep,
They slot dudes
yep.
playing the Philip Dorsett spot. All right, real quick before we move on, because of course, I got questions I want to ask. I want to ask. I've been wanting to ask you for a minute for like 3 weeks, and it finally came to a head in national spotlight. So first, as I'm looking at the top 25 right now, but I want to talk about Clemson now because I know that you give respect where respect is due, but I'm on the side of, bro, if these guys don't play nobody, why do they deserve a free golden ticket? How do you feel about the weak schedule that they play?
Me personally, bro, I'll say this: my top four: Ohio State, LSU, Alabama, Oklahoma. Clemson, they're not playing nobody. And even though
Oh
they
my,
did beat North Carolina, it really wasn't one of those. It made me feel like they was the best team in the country kind of win.
I kind of look at it as part of me is like, all right, man, I get it. Their division's not that strong, but Dabo, you knew this, and you make your own schedule. You knew that your division was weak. You knew that Texas A&M was weak. They pump up the Texas A&M game every year for whoever plays them in the SEC, and they always when the last time they won one of those big games was with Johnny Manziel, correct? When he beat Alabama, right? That was the last time they won.
That was in the division, so
The next year they got smashed.
that one don't count. We talking about out of the division.
Did they lose all of them? I think they beat LSU last year in that crazy game. But as far as just like schedule building, I can't get with Clemson at number 3. I really can't. And even if you want to put Ohio at number 4, but I get why Alabama and LSU are number 1 and 2 because they're just setting that up for the game. Which, if they can make plays, I know it's an if, and we've been drinking this fifth for what, like 7, 8 years. If they can get something going on the outside and they can get some offense, they can beat them. Because
Yeah,
LSU got some dogs. LSU's
bro,
a really good football team, and Joe
Russell,
Burrow might win the Heisman.
you've known me for years, bro. And every year I say Alabama. It's irresponsible to not pick Alabama. Hey, LSU got some dogs
Hey,
out there
LSU
on that
cold.
outside, bro.
LSU cold on
Like
both sides.
those. Hey, look. When you look at LSU receivers, you be like, those are what pros look like.
Yeah, it's true.
Like them guys are pros. And if I mean,
They got like
you
3 CD Lambs.
and you telling me DJ Chart wasn't better than those guys,
Bro.
and he out there balling.
Hey, I'm when I don't have a problem with that because I know they're gonna hype up that game and I'm gonna be watching that game. But I just have a problem with Clemson at number 3. I think
I was
I
gonna say
think
this is
they
the question I'm gonna ask you: is Clemson better than Notre Dame?
see that's the problem with Clemson. Yes, they can. My issue is how can I reward you for not playing? Everybody else has played somebody. LSU done play Texas. They're gonna play Alabama.
No,
They're gonna
I'm
play.
saying is Clemson better than them? Like at
Yes,
the
I think
end of the
so.
day, Clemson went to Georgia. I mean Notre Dame went to Georgia and lost by like a 6 point margin,
We
seven
gonna talk
point
about
margin.
Georgia in a second.
Like I'm just saying, I think Clemson is more with Notre Dame, UT. Like if they were forced to play people week in and week out, they'd have some losses.
See, I think so as well because you know who they really remind me of, and it's the same conference. Remember when Miami was dominant?
Yep.
They played no one. It was beautiful to watch because they just smashed everybody. And actually, those teams had a little bit more to say because they had some real all. Everybody in like every position was going to the league. When I look at Clemson, I'm like, you got Lawrence Higgins. I guess you could say I forget the running back's name. Their running back's pretty good. They got the sophomore wide receiver, but they don't like you said they don't pop out and make me say like even when they beat North Carolina, they don't make me say, oh man, like Clemson's a force. Like if it came down to me picking 4 teams, I would say I haven't really seen you be a force. Like if LSU ends up undefeated, they're going. Like they're going because they would have beaten anything. They would have beaten any style, anybody that you beat. But who has Clemson beaten? Who will they beat? Even in their
Man.
championship game.
I mean, the way it's setting up, like you said, Alabama and LSU gonna kick each other out.
Yeah,
So Clemson will still make it, but it'll be Ohio State and Oklahoma. I honestly think Ohio State the best team in the country.
I was gonna ask you that. Ohio State is a great team. What's his name?
Like
Fields. Fields is a monster.
he's a monster. Like
He's a monster. And to
it's
think,
looking like Georgia should have let him play.
looking like Georgia should have let Fromm go somewhere else, but I guess they wanted the hometown kid, and he took that L to South Carolina. But hey, I don't know if anybody out there watches a lot of documentaries, but that one was for Big Bro. You see South Carolina throwing up that three because that what's his name? I forget his name. The kid that he killed. I think believe he committed suicide at Washington. But anyways, the kid's brother died. He beats Georgia. It's dope. Georgia lost. So finally, the SEC has someone that they can't just hop on and be like they're going because Georgia was ranked high the whole year. I honestly felt like this Georgia team was the worst one of all because they have nobody on the outside at receiver that really scares me. That really goes out there and makes me say, "Oh my God, he's out there. Let's watch out." Like you got the Judys, you got the Lambs, you got the Higgins, um, you got whichever guy. What's his name? Chase. Chase. Not Chasing's the linebacker. Chase, the
You
receiver.
got
And
Washington.
Washington. What's the
You
other?
got I want to say one of them is Clark. Like,
Clark.
hey, they was out
Yeah,
there. They
Clark.
put their name in my head. Like they was killing us.
Like yeah, they were beasts. Pretty much. But I mean, that's pretty much all I got about college football. We're just gonna see how college football plays out. Do you agree with the top five? It's Alabama, LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin.
I really think that Clemson should be playing Wisconsin in the last New Year's Six Bowl. Like,
We'll
I
see how
just
it shakes
don't,
out. You know the
huh?
football gods. I said we'll see how it shakes out. The football gods are the
Cause
football gods.
look, I'm gonna just say this, bro, and we can move on from college after this. But just remember who Clemson have to play the last game of the season, and that's all I'm gonna say with that.
All right.
It ain't an ACC opponent.
Well, there you go, peeps. If you don't know, look it up because we want to leave you at that cliffhanger. All right, so let's go on to the pros. Immediately, you know what? I have before because I have a lot. It's been 3 weeks, and as you know, for me, it's been a rough. So before we get into the whole fiasco here with Red Jesus in Dallas and his Pope Jerry, um, let me ask. What was on? Oh, okay. So I know who. I know your answer. Actually, this first question, I don't know your answer, and we can hop into it first because we're gonna talk about the Texans and Cowboys, and we're probably gonna babble on about them. Um, so, is Russell Wilson the MVP right now? Because I think so.
Uh,
I think he is.
if I had to pick, it would be between Russell Wilson and Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey is doing his thing, and he is carrying that team on his
Like,
back.
he is a freaking monster. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know
he
other
is.
way to say.
I don't know
Like,
the. I've
but
watched
Russell
both.
Wilson, what he's doing is nothing less than amazing.
Bro, he's at this point. I know Mahomes. He might be the best quarterback in the league right now.
He is. Hey, look, I look at it this way.
But you know my
Russell
reason.
Wilson is out there with some guys. Like, I like
Thank
Tyler
you,
Lockett, and
thank
Tyler
you.
Lockett is cold, but Tyler Lockett is like our size, bro.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett
like,
is like a yeah he is. He's a
like
regular
it ain't
guys
like
like
he
you
out
said.
there DeAndre Hopkins size or Julio size or even T.Y. Hilton size.
Yeah,
Like, he like our size.
he
like,
doesn't have a Tyreek Hill that's faster than everybody. He doesn't even have an offensive coordinator that draws him up like
they're just,
Mahomes.
hey, look, bro, they're just handing the ball off, and like, hey, we need you right here, bro.
And
Don't make
he
something happen
delivers.
for us,
And he
bro.
delivers. To this day, I wake up every day and I wonder how did he complete that pass in the corner of the end zone to Tyler Lockett? How did he do that? I don't know how he does that shit. Last week he ran to the end zone, looked like something out of a video game. I gotta give props
I'll
to
say
Russell
this:
Wilson for
he's
recycling all this
definitely
stuff.
the front line leader. Like, I got him, Christian McCaffrey, Deshaun Watson, and then Tom. I don't got Tom Brady in the MVP. I'm sorry,
He's kind
he's
of just
not the
floating there
MVP.
right now. He's kind of just floating there right now. I don't
Like,
know.
he like
You ain't got
I
Pat
got
Mahomes in
that's
there.
Patrick Mahomes can be next, but like, I mean, he ain't just been playing great.
One person you didn't name that I will say, if his team ends up if his team keeps playing well and they end up having a good season, Aaron Rodgers probably gonna snag it.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is. I mean, but he not playing great like that either,
He's
though.
not he's not playing great, but he's not gonna not play great for long. The only
Man,
reason he's not playing great, I think, is just the change in the offense. You know what I'm saying? And once we get to week about 8, 9, getting close to playoff time, he's gonna start being A Rod again. But I really do think
yeah,
that
but the issue he runs into is like the Seahawks keep playing in these unbelievable to the buzzer type
yeah,
games
and Russell
where
keeps
Russell
winning them
Wilson
hoes.
keeps winning. Like, he keeps making plays that have us walking away like, wow.
And he
I
don't.
think that's what's gonna hurt everybody because they're playing in competitive games. Like you can clearly tell that their roster is not as good as the other team's
No,
roster,
but
and
Russell
so
Wilson is better than
like they're
everybody else.
competitive games. But they keep winning them regardless of who they play.
True, true. No, I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him because, man, I don't know if you've watched a lot of Seattle games, but I've been catching Seattle games, and if you haven't out there, if you haven't got a chance to watch them, I don't care how you watch them, but watch Seattle games because you just like random regular plays in the game that he makes. You're like, how, why? The same thing that happens when you watch guys like Lamar Jackson. The same thing that happens when you watch guys like A
Sean
Rod,
Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Sean
I,
Watson is really. I'll say this, bro. I used to be like, I didn't know if we made the right decision or not with him or Pat Mahomes. I do think Deshaun Watson
he's
is,
cold.
he's a little better to me than Pat Mahomes. Like the one thing we never took into account is we acted like the Kansas City Chiefs didn't make it to the AFC Championship with Alex Smith
Yeah,
with those same exact guys.
yeah.
Like Deshaun Watson came to a team where like we had DeAndre Hopkins,
Mm-hmm.
and then that was about it. And then a bunch
True.
of defensive guys. Like he was our team. Like I'm not
One
saying Mahomes wouldn't have did. Like me personally, I feel like if you trade those guys to the other team, it's the exact same results.
Yeah, I think it gets to me when I get to because I actually asked myself that question. And I don't really right now. If you ask me who do I like more, I like Deshaun Watson more. But as far as if you really ask me to sit down and say who's better, I think they're both just really really cold. Because on the one hand, it comes to that like we were like our argument all the time, like talent versus like who do you think can carry you? You know what I'm saying? And people are gonna think this is slight a shade towards Pat Mahomes, but I watched Big 12 football. I saw him with a bunch of guys. Like he was cold, but I saw Deshaun Watson carry some beat Alabama.
Beat
Okay, like
Alabama,
he
bro.
beat Alabama.
Like at the very end of the day,
I
at the
don't need to
very
say
end of the day, he beat Alabama.
when you
And
can
I'm
beat
not even.
Alabama in the
What
sport.
made me a believer wasn't even the one where he beat him. It was the one where he lost. Like when I tell you they were out there crushing that dude, bro. Like it
And
seemed like Minka Fitzpatrick
man,
and I want to say Mosley was out there. I want to say
I
what's
think
the
it was
big dude
that.
that what's the D lineman at Washington? They just drafted one. Like all of these dudes were there, bro. Like Alabama, like in the
They
last
stay
4 years,
stacked.
they've had a lot of guys draft. Like those dudes were there. They was hitting
That's
that dude,
right. I,
and
I,
he
I
was.
will say the win. Here's why the win got me more because I remember in the years when Zeke was coming out, I used to tell y'all that. Remember, I used to say that nigga gonna be cold, and I would say why? He runs a 4.3 and he beat Bama, like
He
which
beat
shows
them.
like he can run through people. Well, that whole Ohio State team was full of guys that we see now
Hey,
were
bro,
super cold,
you want to
but
know what's crazy? I was asking that. I hate to go back to college. Is Ohio State NFLU?
it
Like
might
right
be.
now, the past five
It's
years?
it's it's reminding me. It's like a baby Miami. Nothing
Like,
will ever be like what Miami did, but it is.
bro,
They're all their
I
NFL
mean,
players come
they're
out, and all their
rivaling.
NFL players are good, and they're
Like, bro,
probably
but
gonna smash me again.
it's guys you don't even know of though. Like, I just like if you just like the next 2 weeks, just watch the Monday night games, bro, and the Thursday night
Oh
games,
no, I know.
and see
You
how
texted
many
and I saw
guys,
it. I've been
like
paying attention when you
random
said it.
guys, are from Ohio State.
There's so many. I was gonna say like millions, but now there's a shit ton of guys. Mouth. They might be NFLU. They might be NFLU right now. For the past 5 years, they might be NFLU, and you might have some woman beaters and some murderers because Urban Byers win baby win. But hey,
Yeah, we don't know what it's gonna be like 10 years from now. Like, but right now, like as long as like, bro, I know you remember me talking about the Bosas like
yeah,
all that time ago, and that dude Chase is better than them guys.
yeah,
Like he better than both of them, probably
but
put together.
but right now I can't say anything about the Bosses because even little Nick, my God, what he did to Baker Mayfield on Monday Night Football was ridiculous.
Man, bro, Baker, the commercial maker.
Oh
Like,
man,
bro,
you all
man,
my
hey, look, he
boy.
spent too much time making commercials. Like, man, bro, I'm a firm believer. Like, I ain't saying you gotta compromise getting your money, but like, do understand what made you good wasn't filming commercials. It was all that extra time you was putting in. Like, and that's in whatever you doing. And so, shoot, man, if he was making commercials and not getting it in, what's the results gonna be?
As I look as we do shift to them, and as I look at the Browns, one, I'm disappointed. Two, I'm disappointed. Three, I'm disappointed. But I really believe that the reason why they're having most problems, and you know who I'm about to blame it all on, probably the coach.
The coach.
I said Freddie Kitchens got all the ingredients, but Nick can't cook.
But
I
man,
said,
also they don't have they traded their best O line. Well, I ain't gonna say
they
it's all
did.
the O line, but it's like they don't have no O line. Like you
Chris,
can't
they
block.
did, but
Like
Chris, they somehow have a running game without an O line, and on top of this, they have two of probably the top three receivers at catching a screen and making a move. You have Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis
but
Landry.
bro, I'll say this. That it to me, I'm in agreement with Colin Cowherd. Shout out to you, bro. On one thing, I might would trade Odell Beckham and go get me two offensive linemen. Like I'm just one of them, bro. I don't think one super cold player that's not the quarterback is gonna win it for you. Like
I don't
it's
think one Super
the
Bowl
most
player at all is
success.
going to win for you.
Like what's crazy the last few weeks where the Texans have had their most success is not throwing it to DeAndre Hopkins. As much as it's killing my fantasy football team, like we're having success. Like it's literally if y'all gonna put 2-3 dudes on him, we're gonna throw it over here where it's not 2-3 dudes. Like
No,
it's
I
real simple
agree,
that
but
way.
I think that but I really do think when like watching them play, it looks like someone calling plays that don't really know like what he want to do. Not that he
Oh
don't know
nah, he
what to
don't know
do.
what he doing. I'm not
He
giving
don't
him a
know like
pass.
no, I'm not even saying that he don't know what he doing because every once in a while you see like oh shit like they got some plays, but I really don't think he knows like how
Nah.
he wants to do it. Like he doesn't
Bruh,
know.
you said it to start it off. Odell can turn a 5-yard pass into a touchdown. That ain't a good play call. That's just running a quick slant and that guy
But
taking
what?
it to the
But
house.
when you know that you don't have a line because you traded for these guys, it is a good play call because you should
Man,
know.
they ain't been doing that all year. Like, I don't know,
The
bro. Like
dude
I just
tried to
never
throw a
was
pass with Odell to get him the ball. I've
like
never seen
I've
it in
never
my
was
life.
just so like I ain't saying Odell wasn't cold, but I just never was sold on him. And when they got the Browns together, I just wasn't sold on them. Like I feel like they're a team in the making, but to think that they were gonna make it to the Super Bowl and stuff this year,
I
that's
wasn't
just
on that
absurd,
bandwagon.
bro.
I wasn't on that bandwagon. But I for sure thought that they would be seriously battling for that AFC. What is it? North, the AFC North title. I
And
really did think,
that's
but
that's the Bumbo division up there.
man, now I'm not gonna lie. They're not really the bum bowl that much because the Ravens are pretty good.
The Ravens are good, but the rest of those teams aren't that good.
But the Browns are talented, so it adds drama and effect to it because they should be good. Like
But bro, think of the other conferences, bro. Like
I can't talk mess about their conference. Look at mine. The Giants are one game out of first place.
but look at the teams they beat outside the conference. Like
We've
I'm
all
just
played
looking.
sorry teams in our division.
Y'all getting to play that Lions division.
Yeah,
Y'all gonna not the Lions, but the
face
Dolphins.
the Patriots. Yeah, we're all the
Yeah,
only
y'all
goal
gonna
team.
all take a L
Oh,
to the
except for the
Patriots.
Jets. Now you know
And
what Dallas is gonna do something like they did last year and beat the Patriots like we did the Saints. Get our
yeah,
hopes up.
hey, look, coming from a team who plays that division often, those guys are gonna beat you. Like, I wish it was different, bro. But
I'm
it's
not.
like you beat all the rest of those teams, but the Patriots beat you.
I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm not even gonna get into my team
But
here.
I want you to beat them, bro. Like I'm not rooting for the Patriots or Alabama at this point. Like I'm normally rooting for them, but right now I want to see the Patriots get be like at this point, bro. somebody got to go beat those guys. It's like Big 12
I
basketball.
mean,
Like at some point, Kansas
somebody you
can't win.
gotta, yeah.
Like y'all got to go. Like somebody got to just say we gonna beat those guys.
You already know.
Look, that's the most I know I hate to digress, but Kansas domination of the Big 12 in basketball
Oh,
is
that's
the
the most
most
dominant thing.
embarrassing
Yeah.
thing I've ever seen in my life,
Well,
bro.
as a person that enjoys Kansas basketball, that's the most dominance I've ever seen in my life.
Ever.
Like ever.
Like
Like when they lost the conference, I was like, yeah, it's about time. Even as a fan, I was
like
like,
bro, that was like 20 years or something without the like you mean to tell me all these players that Blake Griffin didn't beat them?
bro, I
Like
was in middle school the last time that they lost.
like bro, it
That
was
they
good
lost,
players that didn't came through the Big 12. You mean they didn't beat
bro.
them?
All of them. Bill Self, and now Bill Self is about to go down in flames, and we'll cover that when basketball season.
Yeah, nah, back to what's at hand, bro.
But okay,
Like,
since you touched on it with the Patriots, are there any other teams that spark your interest, or anybody else that you? I know you've been talking about Gruden lately in our chat. You've been.
man, hey, look, cause Gruden is more of like what I've been thinking. Like, I'm not saying that guys like Khalil Mack isn't cold. Or even it's funny how a year ago or 2 years ago, Aaron Donald was having all of these amazing stats. But then when you start sending two guys at him and a chip and another guy coming across on a screen on a the motion play and he chips him, like then he starts looking like JJ Watt. And I wouldn't be shocked if the dude comes up injured soon. It's a misfortune of being so good. Like he is like I'm not gonna lie at this point. Yes, he is better than JJ Watt because he's JJ Watt at a younger age. But what I'm saying is he's starting to look like how JJ Watt was looking. Like man, we don't hear his name. We don't hear his
He's
name
not hurt
because they're
yet.
sending.
He's
Nah,
not hurt
but
yet.
bro, when you get hit by four different guys in one play, it's just a matter of time. Like it's
But on
only
that,
one
but
way to block a guy
on
like
that,
him.
on that though, that's not when players are that cold. Just like it wasn't on J.J. Watt, it's not on him. Fowler, go get the quarterback. You're either one on one or one on none because you can't block a dude with four people and get that good of protection. And now they're really
But
gonna have it in because now they have the best defensive lineman and they have the best, which I will say is,
DB, I'm glad we got on to them.
which I countered because you know me and you are opposite. I love stars, and I believe that if you have a star, you make them happy, and you will win. And that's because
In
probably
hoops,
because
I feel that. But in
so I feel it
football,
in football too. But that's probably
I
because
don't
I'm a
feel that
Cowboy
in
fan.
football. I feel like, and me and Sean argue about this a lot. I feel like in football, the reason why it don't matter is because I'm not slighting football and saying it's an easier sport, but it's an easier sport for more people to be good or not good, but great at like on a
Yeah,
different level of great. Like in basketball, the reality is as much as I might talk shit about like Kevin Durant or Anthony Davis, like we're comparing those guys to like Harden and LeBron and Jordan. Like there's not many Kevin Durants out here.
nah, nah.
He's like it don't matter
There,
how hard you work, it don't matter how much time you put in the gym, it don't matter how many reps you do. Like you're not gonna
no,
be Kevin Durant.
that's true because there is if you don't have Jalen Ramsey, you can get a Stephon Gilmore. You know what I'm saying?
Like
But
there's a lot of guys coming. Like it's always in football, it's always another guy coming. But I will say the Rams getting Jalen Ramsey, that's not bad, but I don't think that's gonna save their season.
I'm not gonna say it makes them a Super Bowl contender. And you know me, I'm a Jalen Ramsey fan. But I do think
It,
it makes them tough, real tough
it make them interesting
because
because
when
like
that line's gonna get some
yeah,
coverage sacks now.
that's what I was just saying. Like
Because
that, I was just thinking that.
no, what I'm saying because everything because I like Marcus Peters too, but you got to tell the truth about the guy. With all the interceptions he gets burned a lot too. Jalen Ramsey gives you that interception production, the coverage production, and he doesn't get burnt. So they're I think you'll see some change in Donald and the front seven with the addition. Jalen Ramsey's cold. I think people realize how cold he is, but I don't really think a lot of people outside of Houston Texan fans who got
I
to
was about
watch
to
him.
say,
Yeah,
you
no,
telling
because I mean, me being a Cowboy fan, we didn't get to watch him that much. And when we did watch him, he was pouting and mad, and we beat him 40 to 7 last year, so he wasn't really playing. But if you get a chance to watch them on Red Zone or whatever program that you want to watch them on, watch some Jalen Ramsey. People gonna see now because LA Rams are always on TV, so people gonna see now the
Yep,
dude is the best. He's the best corner in the league. Stephon Gilmore, you're
bro.
thumbs up. You're awesome, but no one is
Awesome.
better cornerback than Jalen Ramsey.
Like, bro, I'll say this. Jalen Ramsey, like I've been arguing DeAndre Hopkins is the best receiver for like the last however long.
About
Jalen
6 7
Ramsey didn't get. I
six
didn't
it was
watch
about
us have days where it was like, man, I didn't see like it was one of those. I drafted him number one in fantasy, so I just gotta ride with it.
yeah.
Like Jalen Ramsey is different. Like
And, he's
it's
real
not a
good.
lot of DeAndre Hopkins out here, and especially in that division, he'll lock you up. Like you're not throwing at him.
I can't wait to see one game because I know the way the football gods always work. And when the Cowboys and the Saints, not Saints, but when the Cowboys, congrats Saints though. But when the Cowboys and Seahawks used to go at it, I always knew no matter what we do, we're gonna play them in the playoffs. And no matter what the Saints do, no matter what the LA Rams do, they're gonna play each other in the playoffs.
I'm gonna
And
tell you,
Michael
bro. I
Thomas
don't
versus
think so.
Jalen Ramsey, they are gonna play each other in the playoffs.
Like, bro, I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Do you know
It's
why?
one thing I will say. All of these coaches, all of these new hot guys, and all the guys they want to hire, they all coming from one place and one tree. And every time they play against them, he embarrass them. And that's the 49ers.
Yeah.
Like, they're coming from Shanahan's tree. Those guys learn from up under him. And it's just like anything else. Those other guys don't beat Bill Belichick. Those other guys don't beat Nick Saban. And I don't think they're going to, like, bro, the 49ers went out there and they got
No,
four defensive linemen
no,
and they go get it.
I truly believe that the 49ers are for real. And me and you feel the same way about Kyle Shanahan. Like the dude's a genius. And all you gotta do is watch Atlanta. If you don't believe that Kyle Shanahan is really that good at coaching, watch an Atlanta football game and watch how much trouble they have getting the ball to their studs. And a couple years ago, when Kyle Shanahan was running the show, they were unstoppable on offense. And the
Hey,
49ers are unstoppable on offense and they run the ball.
the year the Texans went 12-4 and Matt Schaub made the Pro Bowl and like was a 4,500-yard passer, and shout out to Arian Foster. I'm gonna just not say nothing about that. Guess who our offensive coordinator was during those years?
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan. Like, I ain't wear the jersey for nothing. Like, shout out to Coleman for my fantasy team. But I know the one thing, like, if you look at the Vikings and you look at the 49ers, they can run the ball. Like, the Shanahans know how to run the ball and set up the play action.
But
Like,
here's why I do say that the LA Rams are gonna play against and Russell Wilson, I love you, and you are the MVP right now. But what we said at the beginning, he's playing with a bunch of guys. The LA Rams do not have a bunch of guys, and we are seeing that the San Francisco 49ers do not have a bunch of guys. And I guarantee you, and you can put me on record saying it's 3 shots on it. When it's time for Jimmy Garoppolo to throw the pill, he is going to throw the fuck out the ball. I'm telling you.
man,
Like
the only,
that team is locked and loaded, and Kittle
like,
is ridiculously cold at tight end.
I think the 49ers are there. I'm not. They're there. I just think Seattle is better than the Rams. Like, I think the
See,
Rams are running into the situation that when people start getting game film on you and your running back who you done gave the ball to like 200 times in the last 4 years, like, it's just catching up to him.
no,
And
it
I
is
think that Jared Goff is a couple of years away from what they asking him to do right now.
Chris.
They're asking him to be Tom Brady, Russell Wilson
No, think
now,
about
and
this.
he's not there yet.
And out there you might say, well, this guy just loves Jalen Ramsey too much. Uh, what was the quarterback's name with the Jaguars?
Gabbert
No,
or or Bortles.
Bortles. Bortles. That is the reason why the LA Rams are going to be just fine. Jalen Ramsey made the AFC Championship with Blake Bortles at quarterback. Are you
I'm
telling
not
me
gonna.
that Jared Goff is not better than Blake Bortles? Because I agree with you. Their offense is going to get slowed down. I'm telling you that defense is about to be ridiculous. Because on the back
And
end, he's
see,
gonna make a world of a difference.
I think the issue that they're gonna run into is their division just isn't as bad anymore. Like, think about this. The Cardinals drafted number one. The
He falls.
49ers for the last few years, they drafted like two and number one. The Seahawks, they've been that team that make it to the playoffs but lose in the first round. So they were playing against a bunch of mediocre teams. Right now, all the other teams, they got youth on their side. Like, I'm not
They
saying the
do.
Rams bad, but I'm saying that they're gonna have to be three teams in the playoffs out of that division. And I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know about.
I don't
I don't
see
know
three
about
teams
that.
coming out of there. Cause
I
that
mean, I mean, well,
how?
maybe, maybe. I mean,
Y'all
I love
so
Chicago. I
realistically,
love Chicago, but when I look, well, no, two teams are making it. Two,
Chicago, I'm about to say Chicago not they
no,
might not make it.
they not. I'm looking at Green Bay and the Vikings, and I'm sitting here saying, is Kirk Cousins gonna Kirk Cousins? Because
But
if
he'll
Kirk
get them to
Cousins,
the playoffs. They got enough talent.
we don't he we don't know, but they can run the ball.
Hey,
And then
look,
when
they
you look
got
at our
they
division, you can easily say only one person can make it out of
only
our
one
division.
team making it out of y'all division from
You know
how
what
it's
I'm
looking.
saying? And then the NFC South, only one team making it.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
Think the Panthers are gonna crack the seal?
I don't know. They undefeated right now, and the Saints also
The Panthers have
like
lost.
the Panthers. No, they undefeated with what's the name in the game, the
Oh
new
yeah,
quarterback
Allen.
Allen. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, they got a good defense and they winning a bunch of games. Like, and they didn't win a division last year, so they playing at least four teams that are bad teams.
It'll play out, but I really do think that at some point,
And they get to play y'all division. No offense. They'll beat
true. But
up
our
on.
division play hard though.
Do they play y'all
We
division?
may not, but
Is
we may.
Carolina, is that AFC South playing y'all division? I know they playing our division.
I don't think so. I'm trying to think of the teams that we get those random two games from. Oh shit.
Nah, they get to play our division, and our division is littered with backups.
I'm trying to think. I think we do play. We played the Saints, and do we get another squad? But I mean, the even so,
But the Falcons stink. So they'll beat the Falcons twice. And the Buccaneers,
I'm not.
like
I'm saying
that's what I'm saying. Like
someone
they'll
there's
only
gonna be.
lose.
So you're saying if there's an odd man out, it's gonna be the Rams.
I really do. The Rams and the Bears. Like, how?
That's why we got to play the other 10 weeks.
Yep, we gotta play the other 10 weeks.
Because a lot
Hey,
can happen.
and
But
before
shout out to the
hey
Saints
look,
and Teddy Bridgewater though, because Teddy Bridgewater's telling y'all, man, I took a team to the playoffs before. Like I don't know why
yeah.
y'all treat me like I ain't never played
Hey,
quarterback before.
but hey, bro, before those other 10 weeks play out, if you watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and go on ding a ling ling on the bell.
You
Cause
can
I
get this.
mean we got 10 more weeks of this coming.
We do have 10 more weeks of this, but let's go ahead and I'm gonna dive into it. The first 3 weeks, it looked like all glory. I mean, those of us that watch, we knew, man, the Cowboys ain't playing nobody. But man, these last 3 weeks have been just it is as a person I know. Shout out to the meat man Murberry. It has reeked of Jason Garrett. It just smells like Jason Garrett
Nah, man.
all over the place, man.
I'm taking Jason Garrett off the hook on this. Cause the
Oh,
first 3 weeks we didn't give Jason Garrett any props. Like it was all the new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. Like it ain't on like the
because he
reality
doesn't do
is
anything. That's why we don't want him.
but what do you I don't think that Kellen Moore is the answer. Like the Cowboys need to go get a real coach. And Jerry Jones just needs to be a real owner and back off. Like they
But
have
until
talent
that
out
day,
there.
Jerry Jones is living like it is that day. So
And
shit,
bro, the
he going
reality
out there with
is
Fred
y'all
Jesus.
won't win
We,
under
we,
that way, bro.
no, we
Like
gonna win because I think it's a it is it no. it's bad coaching, bro. And yeah, you're right on some points that yeah, Jerry needs to get a real coach and needs to go to owner, but really he just needs to get a real coach because this makes no sense. Our coach is
But
actually
what
our
real
defensive
coach?
coordinator, but
Like, bro, what real coach is gonna come there?
our defensive coordinator, the greater of the LOB.
Man, bro, I think Jerry got to first be an owner, bro, and not the personnel guy, the media guy, the PR guy. Like, just fall back,
I
bro.
really don't. I mean, I agree with you. Like some people it gets on some people's nerves. Maybe you can't write a big enough check. Maybe you can. So it is something that is a part of it. But as of right now, when I look at it, that ain't finna happen in the next 10 weeks. We
Ah,
got
nah, it's
we
not,
got what
bro.
we got, and I
And
will
y'all,
say it's it's a problem with being predictable, which we have been before. And I'm really not getting to the point where even though Dak threw those interceptions and everything against Green Bay, and we didn't look sharp last week, I'm not to the point where I'm mad just at the players because I can see the talent is out there, and he still passed for 400 yards, I believe 429 yards against Green Bay. Shout out to my fantasy team. Um, but I can't get mad at I can't get at the players at this point because I'm looking at the games and I'm like, bro, like we don't have we have no pass rush really, and then people are like, well, what's up with the money you paid the guys? We're not. Even though we have the good defensive coordinator, and I do believe he should be the coach, I believe everything starts from the way the offense is running because we're an offensive team. Even though we have defensive players, we're an offensive team, and our offense is lackluster, and we bring no kind of oomph to the game. Like every game seems like it's gonna be the same thing: run left,
man,
run right. If I see
uh,
another 5 yard dig route for Amari Cooper or one of our receivers and it go high or go low or it don't get no yards, like we run mundane plays. And I'm not sure if it's Kellen Moore altogether, if he was told, you know what I'm saying, like calm it down or
nah,
what.
bro.
But
He wasn't told that. He got figured out. And right now it's looking like he got figured out. That's why he going back to what works. Running right, running left. Now I will say this. I think the Cowboys day is coming. I just like you don't believe it's under this coaching regime. Like at some point Jerry Jones will
see,
smarten up. But
and but
right now,
that's the only problem I have though, because and you're right though, it is bleak. It looks bleak as far as the ultimate goal is concerned. But they have one of those teams that's talented enough that can go on a run and do something special, but they won't do it. I like how do I put this? I like what I'm seeing from Dak. I really do. But even though he's leading the league in a stat, like I believe it's called points, where he leads the league in a stat that basically every point that is scored, you get a point for if you're a contributor to it. So like if he's the one that throws the ball, he's leading the league in that stat. And I think the
man,
second
bro,
is like Pat Mahomes. I forget. I think the second like I forget who second is, but he's doing a good job with the ball in his hands. But we don't win that way.
bro,
And
I'ma say
I
this.
think that's the problem with the coaching. They're stuck on trying to win in a way where we don't win, even though it looks ugly. And they're gonna put eight in the box. Make them put eight in the box. Like I'd rather watch us run the ball with both running backs because I like Pollard too. Run with both of them. Just keep going until they do what you want to do and you can get explosive. Because right now it looks like we're trying to play out of our element, even though Dak is playing well as
Man,
far as yards
that
go.
got y'all. I think y'all got 2 weeks. Y'all gonna win. I don't think the Eagles are good enough to beat y'all. Like I'm just not gonna lie.
I
I don't
don't
think the
believe that
Eagles are
either.
good
I
enough to
think the
beat. I
Eagles
don't think
have.
they're that good of a team.
I think they have good. All their whole secondary is hurt.
Like, and if y'all beat the Eagles, that puts you at 4-3. I think y'all'll beat the Giants. That'll put you at 5-3. Then you go into a rough patch where you needed those 2 games because you play the Vikings, who are 4-2, the Lions, who are 2-2-1, the Patriots, who are 6-0, and the Bills, who are 4-1. So it's really one of those y'all
But I
season.
really think. I think out of all those teams, I'm telling you, the
Man, y'all
Vikings
got
may go to the playoffs, but the Vikings aren't going to be as hot later in the year as they are now. I don't believe they're going to
But
be
the
good,
issue is
but they're
when
not going
y'all
to be
play
as
them.
scary.
That's what, like, for y'all to like,
I'd
man,
rather be
bro,
mediocre now and great later than start out
y'all
wonderful.
will win y'all division. I think that's what's gonna save y'all. I think an 8-8 team coming out of y'all division Because if y'all
I
division is
don't think they're
playing
8-8, but I'm walking away from the 13-3, 14-2 stuff.
nah, bro, I don't think you look at your schedule. They gotta win these next two. Like y'all have to beat the Eagles and the Cowboys and the Giants because y'all schedule gets kind of rough.
Bro, no, I'm not saying that they won't. I'm not saying that they don't have to beat them. I'm saying that they'll win these games. I'm saying the Cowboys are going to get better as the season go along. Not even the fan in me and just the person that watch football. I watch this team. I don't see a team that's just like trash or just straight mediocre. I see a team that's got to figure out like what the coaching staff needs to figure out what they want to do. Like what do you want to do and stick with what you want to do, but
And
pick
that's what
something that
these
works.
next 2 weeks are, bro. I
But
don't think you
the
get
sad thing is, though, it's gonna work the next 2 weeks. The Jets aren't a sorry team. Like when people are saying like I get why they laughed at us because they're 0-4. But the Jets aren't a bad team with Sam Darnold playing, and we're lucky that C.J. Mosley. I don't believe C.J. Mosley played that game.
uh
Yes, we're
and
lucky
Sam
C.J.
I mean in the
Mosley wasn't
reality,
playing.
Sam Darnold just a better player than Dak Prescott. Like a lot of football just hinges on the quarterback. Like the talent can be like I think y'all might have a little bit better talent than them, but I mean it's not like a huge difference. And just a better quarterback
But
can.
they
I mean,
have what you're saying. I think what you're saying is it may not be what you're saying. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but what it sounds like is they have talent in the right spots.
yeah, like they have talent in the right spots, and I mean they coach
And
for some.
sometimes that's sorry to interrupt you again, but sometimes that's better than having just
Good
talent.
players. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. But I will say that, bro. Like I do like the Cowboys, but just looking at y'all schedule, like after y'all play the Bills, y'all play the Bears. After y'all play the Bears, y'all play the Rams. And then after that, y'all end the division with the Eagles and the Redskins.
The
So
Bears, the Bears do. The Bears are a team that I say you must respect them because their defense is so good, but their
but
offense
they
is
can
so
be
like,
their defense can be had though. If you
yeah,
can run the ball on them.
exactly. If you and that's what we do. I don't really because I still believe the Cowboys are one of the best teams in the league.
Nah, these teams gotta play
But
y'all too.
but I do believe that I do believe one after those first 3 games they acted like they didn't realize that they played a bunch of scrubs, and number two they got punched in the mouth and they didn't recover, and then they ran up on a team that's been getting punched in the mouth and finally got their player back and we're like we gonna come out here and win. And real quick before you get in, if you want to get into the Texans real quick, I, I said it last year, I'll say it again. I wanted Mika Fitzpatrick. I wanted Jalen Ramsey. Someone needs to get out there and replace Heath. We need to replace Heath on the back end. I hate the players that you keep on the team just because they know what's going on and oh they
Man.
know all the
Or
plays and they're where the coach
or
wants them.
or
I
you
need
keep them on the
athleticism.
team because you got to pay your quarterback, your running back, your receiver, your defensive lineman, your two
And they need to throw the
linebackers.
rookie out there, or Woods need to help him get healthy.
Man,
I know
bro, a
we got
lot of the
injuries.
times them rookies don't be better than them vets, bro. Like they
They
have
don't.
talent. Like
But but
talent is
but
is
it's
one
bad.
thing, but know-how is another.
But it's bad when you know. I guess they tried to get some guys and they just like Heath better, but he's just not that guy to me.
That
Rob
mean they
Anderson's
don't.
good, but he's just not that guy to me.
Hey,
It
look,
always
as
scares
a
me.
as a Texans fan, and we got Kareem Jack. I mean, not Kareem Jackson, but Jonathan
Jackson.
Joseph still out there, and Jonathan Joseph don't look
But
all that great.
but I'd
But
rather
those
have
other guys don't either. That's
but
behind him.
but I'd rather have a toast corner with a good safety behind him than a toast safety with a good corner. Because even if you're the great corner, you gonna get beat sometimes. That's why they're called safeties. Cause that shit ain't safe
Yeah.
out there. They the reason they trying to make it safe for a cornerback out there. And I'm telling you, Heath
I
is
just think
Heath got
it's
outran by Jared Goff, Chris.
bro.
I
I
won't
just think
forgive
it's
him
one
for
of
that.
those. You just got to keep drafting it. But right now, the Cowboys are in a situation that man, they got to go all in right now. Like at some point, like y'all can't pay everybody. It's a salary cap.
No,
And
I
like,
I, I think that the salary cap is gonna bite us in the butt. It already has a little bit, but I just at this point with the season going and the schedule, I don't really look at the difficulty of the schedule because we're in week 6 and you never know
nah, the
how
schedule
it
ain't.
shake out. How it shake out,
I
but
mean, it's exciting games now, but like you said, it's 2 weeks. The Vikings could mess around and be 4-4 when that game comes.
yeah, a
The
lot of
Lions could mess around and be 2-5.
Yeah.
Like the Patriots, I don't think the Patriots will be losing. I think they're gonna smash y'all too. Like their defense is just really good. The Bills, I think
Defense
that'll
is
be a
really
good
good.
game with the Cowboys. I think y'all will be like both at the same record. The Bears, I'm not a believer in them. Like I'm one of those people that feel like the owner of the Bears is sitting somewhere in a room thinking I fucked up. Like somebody sitting there telling him, you know you fucked up, right?
Yeah, because then
You
they
fucked
draft
up.
Mitchell Trubisky before Watson. Yeah,
And Mahomes.
yeah. That's
And
how that's
Mahomes.
how you fucked up.
Hell. And for what it's worth, if I'm not mistaken, Christian McCaffrey too.
I believe you're
Like,
right. I believe you're right. And they
like,
need a running back right now. Even though I like
like,
the kid from Iowa, but they need a running back right now.
man, I'm not sold on the Bears.
But when I
Like,
watch them, I feel like the coach has good play calls. I just feel like the execution is just bad on
that's
offense.
that's practicing. That's on the coach.
Like,
Like,
I feel the plays are known and they know where to go, but and I feel dudes be open, but the execution just be
and their
bad.
quarterback, but their quarterback play is just bad.
Yeah, it's
Like,
horrible.
like
I
they're
can't.
one of those teams. Like, if I'm them, I'm doing what I gotta do to. If y'all really talking about not playing, if y'all that silly talking about y'all not gonna play Cam Newton again, if y'all really that silly,
Oh
go
yeah.
and send him over my way, player.
That
Like, go and send him my way.
would shake it up
Like, that changes things. Get Cam Newton on their
because
squad.
a healthy Cam Newton. People forgot how cold a healthy Cam Newton is. I think, and that's the question that brought up. Do you think his job is in jeopardy?
Man, bro, it shouldn't be. But like I said, if they silly enough to do that, like if I'm Chicago, I give you a first round and a second round for him. Like the one thing I've learned with the Texans, like the reality is, and I hate and I love it to segue into them before we get out of this thing, but we gave up a lot to get Laramie Tunsil. We did. But the fact that is, if we go to the playoffs the next 2 years, nobody in Houston will even care.
True.
Like we lost Jadavion Clowney, but since we've been winning, nobody
Nobody
cared.
cares.
The only time you heard about it was when people were losing. Like if the Carolina Panthers, and I'm not taking nothing away from Josh Allen, the dude was the number one quarterback in the nation coming out of high school, so clearly he got some kind of talent
Yeah.
somewhere. But like Cam Newton is an MVP of this league. Like you can't disrespect that. And if they are, it's some teams out here need to be offering up some ones. Like,
Yeah.
let's get him in the uniform now. He's hurt. Just stay out and learn the playbook. We'll go at it next year.
Yeah.
Like, if you the Bears,
Yeah. I'm a Cam Newton fan. I believe that. I believe people got Cam fucked up. Um, but I do like the way the kid Allen is playing. And but I'm one of those people that I believe like you got to do right by one of those dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like you either got to tell Cam we sticking with him, we're gonna trade you, or you got to tell Allen like you played great, bro. Go get your money. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the two got to
nah,
happen, but they probably gonna try and keep
man,
both.
Cam Newton time there is done, bro. Like, it's just one of those. Sometimes your time just done.
Well,
Like,
if he heal up and get healthy, there's a lot of places that would love to have him.
and that's because I think he is just gonna heal up. He not gonna play. And I think the Panthers, I mean, they looking pretty good. And at the end of the day, you don't have to be the greatest player to swing that bitch out to Christian McCaffrey. He out here
That's
making it
fact.
happen.
He
So I
is. Every
mean,
time he
I think
touched
you
the
can get
field.
fooled by that and think that we don't need Cam. And so I really could see them moving on from him and getting like, if you could get a
And
1 and a 2 or a 2 and a 3 for Cam, wouldn't you?
yeah, I mean, me, no. But as far as a deal is concerned, yes. If that
Man,
makes sense.
bro, if
Because
they
I
go
wouldn't
out
trade Cam
here
Newton for
and
him.
make the playoffs without Cam Newton, and a team is willing to give them a 2 and a 3 or a 1 and a 2 or a 1 and a 3, man, it's hard
Yeah,
to say I
they
wouldn't
gonna do
make that
it.
move.
They gonna
Like,
do
go
it.
get you some better players. And I mean, at the end of the
We
day,
saw the Giants do it, and they didn't even make the playoffs. Hell, they had a top five, top six pick.
that is true.
So like we know, hey, if you want somebody and someone looks like they're worth something, you can give them up. But I don't think Cam's time is done. But I do agree with what you're saying. Oh no, I don't. I don't think it should be done, but I do think it's looking like
I don't think it
yeah,
should be either. I think they really tripping. Like, hey, look, I just think they tripping.
more
But
for us to talk about. Like,
I just feel like, man, you can't disrespect the guy who done been an MVP. Like took his team to the Super Bowl. Like that's I mean, I ain't gonna say like, well, I guess you can disrespect that guy. Cause on the other hand, the Falcons need to go and stick some dynamite, man.
yeah, they do,
Like
or at least
like
just stick some dynamite in Matt Ryan, cause damn, bro,
nah, nah, bro. They need to go and get rid of the whole thing, bro. They just
really,
need to start over.
you know what I think their issue is. I don't think it's players. I think that because when they had Kyle Shanahan, it was the same group. What minus Taylor Gabriel and Coleman, but it was pretty much the same group. And so, like, I really do think that they got. Remember, they had the one guy that couldn't stop drinking at the college schools.
Man, bro, sometimes you just cap out what you can do.
All
Like
right,
I
man.
just think that group been capped, bro. Like I
I
think
still think Julio is one of the best receivers in the league.
and Julio is a phenomenal player, and Devontae Freeman ain't just great, but he ain't bad. And Jake Matthews is a heck of an offensive lineman. Like
Yeah,
the
they
way
still
it's
have.
looking
I
now,
really
we
think.
should have drafted him number one over Clowney if we
I
was
think
gonna trade Clowney.
I think I'd have to disagree with you and say like I agree that they're not playing good, but I don't think they're capped out. I really do think that they just don't have the coaching staff together out there that could get wins. And I
Man,
think that sometimes that's just the problem. I think that we like to I think that as fans and as people that watch, it's easier for us to just say switch another player out. But I really do think a lot of these teams a lot of their issue is just the fact that they do not have really good steady coaching and when you don't have that, because look at all the good teams, every last good team has steady, good coaching. All of them. The ones that don't, us, Cowboys, mediocre, don't really know how to get right. Y'all seem like y'all didn't have good coaching, but now that it looks like y'all have a
we have a
quarterback,
quarterback. Like at the end
like
of the day, our
things get
quarterback
better.
overcomes our coach. But my thing,
The
bro,
Raiders,
is
the Bears.
I feel like when a team like I'm one of them people, bro. If we ain't gonna be in the top two or the top one, I don't want to just be 800, bro. Like let's go and blow this up, redo it, build it the right way. Like the reality is, those guys need to start up front on the D line and the O line. Like I feel like their time is past, bro. Like they let the rest of their division catch back up when they did have that
Yeah,
MVP year. Like the Saints, like whether they keep Drew Brees or not, Teddy Bridgewater looking like he'll be a solid fill-in.
yeah.
Like they're not gonna let him go
If
anywhere.
I'm the Saints, I'm not letting Teddy Bridgewater go anywhere.
Nah, we'll pay him. Like then you look at Tampa Bay, like you don't really know what you gonna get
That's what
from
I was
them,
gonna ask you.
but
You're
you know they
you
put up. Like they'll be good at some point.
you are very rarely wrong when it comes to your bum meter. And that
James
year,
Winston,
you were the
huh?
only him and Mariota. But that
Yeah,
year, you were the only one that said we even talk about it. Who would you rather have? You would sit up and say, "I don't want neither of them bums.
bro, who
I'll
came
pick
out
another
that year?
position."
It was like a D lineman or something. I was like, I wouldn't take either
Uh,
of these dudes.
One, I said, man, if Bruce Arians can't save you, no one can. And number two, man, Oda just got benched for for Ryan Tannehill.
Another bum.
Yeah,
Like,
you know how bad you got to be playing for your coach to be like, man, let Tannehill take some snaps, bro.
like,
You're not
bro,
doing it.
if Bill O'Brien isn't the luckiest man, like he really should take a week of his paycheck and just bet it all on one color or one number. Like this dude, Andrew Luck retired 2 days before the season started.
True.
Mariota was a bum before and after the season started, and they replaced him with a guy who couldn't stay on a team that's clearly the worst team in the league. They're out there trying to tank,
Yes.
and they didn't want him. Then to top it all off, like what else happened to the Jaguars traded off their best defensive player and then they sign a quarterback in the summer who gets hurt throwing a touchdown on like the first play of the game. Like, if Bill O'Brien isn't the luckiest guy on the planet,
Hey,
like,
bet it all on Black, man.
like,
Bill,
bet it
bet it on
all,
Black.
bro. Like, it's your time, man. Like, Billy O, if you listening to this, it's your time, man. Like, everybody get hurt. Like, and then you already, hey, look, Mariota wasn't good from the jump, and you mean to tell me they replacing him with somebody who we know is worse?
He used to be a wide receiver.
Like,
I never understood how
I never
Tannehill
got that, bro.
parlayed being a wide receiver to a makeshift quarterback at A&M to an NFL
Hey, look, a
starter.
marginal wide receiver at A&M.
Yeah.
He ain't even good. Like, I know you remember the black dude. I can't think of his name. He was like number 9. Like, he was cold.
Oh, you
Like,
talking about back in the day?
when
The one that beat
Tannehill
Oklahoma?
was there,
Oh,
it
no.
was him and the other black dude. The black dude was out there killing. Like, no, bro. Ryan Tannehill is a bum. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a UT fan, but like, man, they wasn't beating UT with him or Oklahoma. Like, he
They weren't
just is a
beating
bum.
very many people. Didn't the coach left, didn't he? And then he drafted him. That's what happened. The coach left and
The
then
coach left and drafted him. Like, and we see where the Lions have gone to.
No, it wasn't the
So the
Lions, the
moral of this
Dolphins.
story is the Texans probably will win their division. Like, they're playing against a lot of backups. And shoot, I will say this on a note: the Texans are starting to take a step forward. Like, and that's all we needed. Like, I've been complaining because it was like, man, Deshaun Watson getting hit. He getting hit. He getting hit. Like, at some point, you got to get the ball out quick. And I mean, that's what we started doing and running the ball. Like, I know Sean gonna kill me. He hate Carlos Hyde, but like, man, you run the ball so you can get the pressure off of the quarterback. Like, you don't want these dudes teeing off on your quarterback, bro. Like, you just don't. Like, if we didn't learn nothing from the Andrew Luck saga, is these quarterbacks aren't built to be out here getting hit. Like, how you gonna take a guy who in high school very often, like, these dudes are in the NFL, so clearly they weren't getting hit like that in high school because they're just superior athletes. In college, they got hit a few times, but it was by guys who shout out to the loan originate profession that I'm in, and if you need a mortgage loan or anything of that nature or refinance, like, shoot, you might as well come to me. But either or, they were out there playing against a lot of guys who doing what I'm doing for a living. So it's one of those, like, you know, and now you get to the pros and it's like, man, you playing against guys who pros too. Like, wherever they from, they were a terror there. And you getting hit by these dudes. So I mean, a lot of these quarterbacks just ain't built for that, bro. And that's why I'm glad the Texans been getting the ball out of Watson's hand. Like, I think Watson is the best. Like, I think he gonna show something. But if you out there holding the ball that long, like Tom Brady, it amazes me that Tom Brady didn't last it this long, won all them titles, did all of this stuff, and ran a 5.6 in the 40. So clearly, it's not about speed and athleticism.
Well,
it's about preservation. It's about preserving yourself.
It's about preservation. And it's also, I think that I don't think people underestimate it, but I don't think it gets talked about enough how, like, Tom Brady is, like, to a T, like, precision, how you run your route, how you do it. Because Tom Brady's to the point, and he's been at this point where he's not throwing, like, at you. He's throwing to a spot where you should be on a time frame. And if you're not on that time frame, which is amazing to be able to do. But I think that's how he preserves himself.
It's just called outlasting. Like, think about this. Russell Wilson.
Forget he did tear his ACL.
Russell Wilson is now reaching that point, bro, to where he's seen everything. So now it's looking different. Like, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, like, a lot of these guys are getting. That's why you're seeing more quarterbacks who are starting to, like, get to that point, because a lot of those young guys. And I mean, we thought Andrew Luck would be one, but he didn't preserve himself. Like, Russell Wilson never really.
I don't think
took
it was
big
about
shots.
I don't think it was about Luck not preserving himself. I think that year or two when they were really bad, That year that they were really bad and had no line. Well, they didn't have a line for a while. When they didn't have no line, I don't think that was not preserving. He was just getting
The
hit.
the Patriots went to the Super Bowl with the worst offensive line in the league that year. Like Tom Brady was throwing the ball as soon as he got the ball. Like sometimes, bro, you just gotta punt it on a year, bro, and come back next year. Like you're the quarterback. We're not going anywhere. Like looking at the Colts right now, if they had Andrew Luck, would they not be the Super Bowl favorites?
Yeah, they be a real cold team.
Like it's really one of those, man, bro. Like I always say this, like it's not that I don't like the running quarterback. I like a Russell Wilson. I like a even a Lamar Jackson. I give him a lot of props. He gets the ball out of his hand and he gets down. Like nobody's just teeing off on him.
But I don't
Like
think any of
Deshaun Watson gets teed off on, bro. Like he's sitting back there, and I can't knock him because he's making great plays, but he's sitting back
I
there
mean, you got
waiting for
guys
it to
like
come.
Russell. You got guys like, and they all can be amazing, and they all can go to Super Bowls because Deshaun Watson comes out of the mode of like Cam. Cam's gonna try to make the play, and he's gonna pay the price. Carson Wentz learned the hard way because he's Cam type. I'm gonna hold the ball, make a play.
But
We
that's
Dak is a Russell Wilson type. Dak is not trying to run. They call run plays for him. Speak of the devil. Let me go back. Actually, I'll save that for the bum of the week. But yeah, he doesn't want to run the ball that much. And when they do, it's only in really, really, really tight pressure situations. But I don't think anybody really wants their quarterback running like the Cams or anything like that. It's just, it's seen that, and you know how I feel. If you can catch lightning in a bottle, go get your ship. And we've seen that those type of guys can catch lightning in a bottle.
man, bro. But
But
it's
if,
just a tough thing for me. Like Russell Wilson don't, and it's not even about running. Like Andrew Luck just was you try to when you try to make the big play on every play,
yeah, that's what I'm
you
saying.
take
Hold
a
on to the
risk.
ball.
Like
Yeah.
Andrew Luck just held on to the right. Like Russell Wilson does what Brady does. Like he get the ball out of his hand, and if he do run, he not trying. Like it's okay to not get the first down, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Live to
just
play
go
another day.
down. Like go down 2 yards before the dudes, because sometimes players be out here tripping and they'll hit you late, late. So just
Speaking
go
of
get
players
down.
tripping, we wouldn't get a chance to talk about it. But before we go over the bum of the week
Yeah, let's
and
go
the
and get
stud,
into that before we get out this time,
but
bro.
before we do that, I gotta say we used to shout out to Vontez Perfect, and I don't know whether to say good riddance or just bye.
Hey, look, I got a bone to pick with you on that, bro. Like, cause you was saying Antonio Brown was miserable in Oakland. Oakland out here looking like if they had Antonio Brown and Burfitt, that they might be a good team.
Man,
Like
I
they might
can't.
be like had Antonio Brown been at practice and like they might be a good team, bro. Like they're not bad.
I will take everything that I said about Antonio Brown. I'm gonna put it in a little bag, and I'm gonna put it in this trash bag with these shitty diapers of my kids because I don't need it no more. I won't. I'll say Oakland's playing pretty good, but I don't know. I can't say that they're better than the Patriots. I
No,
can't say Antonio Brown was being an idiot,
I'm
but
not
if he
saying
was
that they're
out there, they
better
would
than the
look nice.
Patriots. I'm saying that had they have Antonio, like regardless of what we think about it, like I might think that like Antonio Brown to me is a silly monkey fool. Like anybody who will walk away from 30 guaranteed million is just a fool in my opinion. I don't care if we playing in Antarctica, bro. I'm there. Like what time I need to be there, coach? I'm there. Like he walked away from a 30 piece. But that's beyond the point. The dude is a monster on the football field. Like we can't deny that he's cold. Like I'm not gonna act like if he wasn't out there, he wouldn't be putting up. Like with the game he played with the Patriots, he went out there and put up. Like the dude can play football. Like had they had him out there, like I really think that they could be content. Like
Well,
we see that the Chiefs aren't all that great, the Chargers really aren't that good, and the Broncos ain't that
but I
good.
will say this: we will see how cold they are when the opposing offenses aren't worried about someone out there just playing illegal football. Like Vontez Burfict was playing like it was 1983.
Hey, he's out there. Hey, he out there
Bro,
trying to murk boys. It's
I
like,
think I watched a video that showed like his like fall like from I mean he never had a rise to grace so he can't fall from grace but it showed him like he racked up like 2.2 million dollars of fines and like he
but he was a good. But my thing was, he was a good play. Like it
because
wasn't
people
like the Raiders weren't building something. Like
man this
it's one
man
of those. We spent a lot of time dogging him, And I mean, yeah, it was crazy to trade off Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack. I'm not saying it wasn't. Like it was crazy. But to the flip side, it wasn't like they didn't have a plan.
No,
Like
they
they
did.
backdoored and got like AB, and I mean they defense ain't great, but it's getting the job
I
done.
think.
So it's
I
one of
think.
those, if you had AB right now, you might actually be like, their division ain't the hardest at this point.
I do agree with that, but I do think a lot of it is they they had a plan, but a lot of people said if you're and I was one of them because I still don't agree to get rid of Khalil Mack, but I was one of them that said if you are going to do that, you better have a plan. And it did look like John Gruden had a plan, and shout out to him for having a plan. But let's go ahead and get into it. What you want? Let's go ahead. Who's your stud? Let's. Would you want to start on the bums or the studs?
Nah, let's give love to the studs. Like
All right.
studs should always get love. Or you know
Who's your
what? Yeah, let's give love to the studs. I want to start
Who your stud of the week?
my stud of the week, bro. Like, should I even have to say anything? Like, I'm tripping. I'm big tripping, big tripping. I have him on my fantasy football team, and it's no shade to you, but I have been killing this year, and it's all thanks to one guy. Like, yes, Mike Evans done had some big games. Yes, Keenan Allen done had some big games. I do got a solid team, people, but Christian McCaffrey
Yeah,
is
he's going ham.
deputy goddamn dog out here. Like this dude is killing. And so he is my stud of the week. Regardless to what country, what time zone, this dude goes out here and he puts up work. Like that's what he do. So stud of the week for me is Christian McCaffrey.
All right. Let me see. My stud of the week. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna actually say my stud of this week. I'm just gonna pull the rabbit out the hat and say I'm gonna give it to Kirk Cousins because I watched Kirk Cousins go. One thing I will respect about Kirk Cousins, he came out and his receiver said something about him in his play. Not only did he apologize for his play and was like, "I'm gonna get you back, my guy. Like I got you," he put him on his show, told him I need to improve it. Then a linebacker that used to play for his team, who shan't be named because you a bum, you ain't bum of the week, but you a bum. You called him out and said the best thing, the thing that the Eagles want to happen is Kirk Cousins throw the ball, and Kirk Cousins went out there and threw 4 touchdowns and drilled the Eagles. So my stud of the week is Kirk Cousins, and you
Yeah.
keep balling, Kirk. Because I told this to somebody earlier. They were like, "Was he worth the money?" And I said, "You know what? I will say yes, even though he
Yeah.
doesn't perform all the time when you need him to. When he does show, and he doesn't just do it once in a while. When he has those passes where he shows, no one else can throw the ball as accurate as me right now at this point in time. So my stud of the week is gonna be Kirk Cousins, and I hope Kirk Cousins continue to ball out."
Ball out, Lurk. Ball out, Lurk. And now the time we've
Yeah.
been waiting for. Hey, look, this year's bum of the week, or this week's bum of the week. I got two bums of the week. Like,
We're gonna have
I'm
a bum of the
sorry.
year. We gotta start that. That's gonna be at the end of the year. Oh,
I
before you
got
do it,
two.
before you
I
do it,
got two.
before you do your two bums, because y'all know Chris is gonna tackle these bums. Hit that subscribe button and a
Yeah.
notification button so you'll all know who the stud and the bum of the week was. Go ahead though.
Bum of the week. I got two. And they come from the same division. And we've already touched on this division and this player. But Jameis Winston. 5 interceptions. Like, you going and play in front of a country that don't even get to watch football. And the one thing they get to see is you throw the ball to the other team. I'm out here with Mike Evans on my team, and you throwing the ball to the other team. Like, throw the ball to Mike Evans. Chris Godwin leading the league in receptions. Just keep throwing it to him. Y'all got the NFL sack leader on y'all team. Like, don't throw an interception. So, like, keep letting him get sacks by keeping leads. Like,
Bruce
you
said,
got a great tight end. You got a maybe a below average running game, but it'll get yards. Like, just don't throw the ball to the other team.
oh,
Jameis, you're a bum. But I'm not
I'm
even gonna dish you. The bum of the week, I'm sorry. Jameis, I got three. I'm sorry. It's Jameis Winston, it's Marcus Mariota, and it's old buddy out of Atlanta kicking the rock, Matt Bryant. Like, come
oh
on, bruh. Come on, bro. You gotta make the field goal. Like you got one job. And it wasn't like it was a 60-yard kick. Like, man, you better make this extra point. It's 35
Oh man.
yards.
So I will agree that Bruce Arians can help everybody except for Jameis. And Jameis, if Bruce Arians can help everybody except for you, the problem is not everybody else. It's you, man. It's you. Uh, the other bums, I agree with Mariota. I think I'll give you two bums because Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston belong in the same bum
But
bubble.
those are bums. Like we knew they was bums. And Matt Bryant, you can't just be missing the field goal. And the Miami Dolphins, y'all going on 16.
And they
y'all
want
going
to,
on 16.
but they want to. So are they bums or geniuses? Because if two is cold.
Man, for this season, they bums.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
when
Mika
the Lions went out there and didn't win, niggas was bums.
Mika said, "You got me fucked up with the guy down the street. I
like,
got to go
up out of here." Hey, he like, how y'all get Kenny Stills up out of here and Laramie up out of here, and I'm here. Like, I ain't signed up to play with our old buddy from Atlanta, the coach. He said, I came here to coach Mike Vick. Like,
Matt
I ain't come here to coach y'all dudes. Came here because Mike Vick was here. I'm out of here.
I think everybody that's watching, y'all probably know who my bum of the week is. My bum of the week is Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett, you've been my bum for the past 3 weeks, and we're sorry we haven't been here for the past 3 weeks, but we saved you the repetition of me saying this. Jason Garrett, you are the bum of the week, and you will continuously be the bum of the week. But the main reason why you're the bum of the week, how many points did we lose by, Chris?
I don't know, 3?
2. But I'm glad you said the number 3 because it was 4th and 2. I believe it would have been about a 30-yard field goal, maybe 35, maybe 25. And we went for it on 4th and 2. Not only did we not get it, it was the worst play call ever. They ran basically a play Oklahoma would run for Jalen Hurts to the outside. If he would have kicked the field goal, we would have won the game. I know a lot of things could have happened during the game. Hell, the field goal I believe would have made it 7-6. So at that point in time, it probably would have made the Jets, play a little bit tighter because they were playing so loose that they launched a 92-yard bomb, which Heath got beat on. So my bum of the week is Jason Garrett. Not only did you make that horrible play call, but you have lost your players, sir. We did see all the players on the defense, or the majority of them that walked off the field. When you came to give your hand claps, they told you, we don't want any.
Hey,
Jason
look.
Garrett, you the bum of the week.
Hey, look. Jason Garrett is a bum.
I got one more bum.
To his defense, throw y'all's honor in there because Jason Garrett's refusal to go for it on 4th down and overtime against the Texans, and Jerry Jones came out and said, I would go for it in them situations, but the play calling was stupid. Go for it, but that was just a stupid play to run. But back to the bums. He is a bum.
Not only wasn't just that it was a stupid play to run, you didn't have to do it. It was like in the first or second quarter. Like you didn't have to do it. You just did it off the muscle. But
I'm not mad at him for going for it. I never get mad. But if you're gonna go for it, I'm a firm believer. My running backs are running backs. They run the ball.
Your team.
My quarterback is a quarterback. He throws the ball.
You gotta know your team.
My quarterback and I don't need my running back being a goddamn lead blocker for my quarterback. I need my left tackle and my fullback to be a lead blocker for my running back. So if you are gonna run it, hand it to Zeke. You just paid him all of that money. Or if you are gonna put it in Dak's hand, let him throw it. Like
I agree 100%. My second bum of the week is all of Georgia. All of y'all are bums. You lost to South Carolina. I don't even think Mitch Mustang thought he was gonna win that game. Dude, I don't think anybody in the world thought y'all were gonna lose. And Jake Fromm, you a double bum because 2 guys left your school and they balling out, and you over here losing.
Hey, and let's not stop. Atlanta, how y'all go?
The whole state of Georgia.
The whole state of Georgia. hey, let's not stop with the Atlanta Falcons, the Atlanta Braves. Hey, no. I know we late, but y'all some bums too. Hey, and so I'm sorry, I gotta get before we leave, bro. Can I please get a couple of like baseball bums? Like, hey, the one thing is hard to do. St. Louis, how y'all go out there and get swept? Get swept. Y'all ain't win a game. Like that's
Not one
pathetic.
game. That's childish. That's worse. That's
Like
childish. That's childish.
how y'all got swept. And the Dodgers, man, y'all need to
Blow it
go and
up.
blow that thing
Blow
up.
that shit up.
Like,
And
go and blow that
Kershaw,
up.
he don't
Like,
need to pitch in the playoffs no more. Just say I'm a regular season pitcher, and when the playoffs start, just sit down because the playoffs
like,
is not
hey,
for
look,
you.
it's a lot of guys I would love for the Astros to get, but he ain't one of them. Let that
And
guy
look,
stay where. Hey, we talk about bums. He is my bum of the year for baseball. Like, y'all went out there and lost to a team that played in the play-in game. That's disrespectful.
man, disrespectful, and you got swept. And you got swept.
And
And the
almost
Braves gave
no
up.
hitting like one of those
Hold
games. I
up,
want to say they
wait,
got no hitting one
wait.
of them
You
games
know why
damn
the
near.
Braves really are the first bum? Because the Braves got beat by a team. The Braves gave up 10 runs in the first inning to a team that got swept.
Got swept. Like the
So for the
whole state of
Braves,
hey,
what we
throw
need to do is
Georgia sports in the trash can right
right
now.
now, all of y'all in the trash can, all y'all in detention for being childish because that made no sense. None. So that's the bums. You heard the studs. We got more bums and studs coming next week. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for listening. If you're listening on whatever platform you're listening on, but you can catch us on Spotify. You can catch us on Google Podcast. You can catch us on Stitcher Podcast. You can catch us on Apple coming soon, and you can also catch us on YouTube. Are there any shameless plugs that you'd like to get before you exit the building?
Man, I want to give a shameless plug to this Yo Play pudding over here that I've been eating, bro. It's 100 calories, so it ain't the worst snack. And if y'all want to throw your boy some free pudding, throw your boy some free pudding. I eat it every day.
I'm gonna give my shameless plug to someone that we should have given a shameless plug to this whole entire time. Bic lighters, because when you flick your Bic, it'll light your stick. No homo. But with that being said, Bic, holla at me. And watch the sports plug. Holla at us, man. We out.
Alrighty.
All right.